Hi guys, welcome back to another quick card pull. I'm not going to date it just because, you know what I mean, it's like the end of the day of Thursday, so whenever this finds you, I feel like that's for all the quick card pulls. I date it sometimes just because sometimes it resonates a little bit more. So it is being pulled on Thursday night, so if this finds you on Friday, take it for what it is. So we have the Empress energy, and it's like nurturing energy, Venus, you know, a place of love. I feel like this is also towards yourself. You gotta be kind to yourself. You know, they're talking about major change and transformation. If you've seen my video before this one, I believe it was, where it was showing you how to embark Lionsgate portal energies, where you can lock in abundance and things coming into your life where it doesn't slip through your hands. So if you feel like a lot lately that things have been coming out and not coming in, like literally today, like I put a stop to something and they're still trying to get in my pocket, and I had to call them. I'm like, listen, like I already took care of this. I, didn't complain. I didn't argue with you. I did what you asked. I canceled. Like, this should not still be going on. And they're like, oh, now I see it. I'm like, yeah, like now that it's after it's come out of my account, like this is not okay. You know what I mean? It's just like the first one was not okay. You know what I mean? But it's just like karma finds a way, and I don't wish any harm to anyone, but it's just like when you do foul things, somehow, some way, things balance out. You know what I mean? Especially people that are here for a good purpose, especially people that have a good heart. I know they always say, like, what do they always say? Good guys always finish last or some shit like that. You know what I mean? Sometimes it doesn't feel like that. So we're in the midst of change and transformation. Definitely, like, watch your angel numbers right now. So how they're trying to communicate with you. Like I was showing you guys, like it was called Counting Crows. So it's like how many crows, and then you look on there to see how many it is, write down the date and see how that comes in. Like you definitely will get a lot of messages repeating, and it's just like just trusting and believing. No harm to none. But you know what I mean? This is all a card about changing, all about elevating yourself, of elevating your abilities. So like even last night, like very potent vision, you know what I mean? As quickly as it was there, it disappeared. You know what I mean? So it's just like if you are able to, you have sight. You know what I mean? I feel like that's what they're talking about, invoking more abilities, waking more abilities, bringing those skills out. A lot of this will be reminiscent of like the last time we pulled from the foil cards, because a lot of it was just hitting. But just remember that the universe fills your cup. This is a time of peace. This is a time of rest and rejuvenation. Even though like it kind of doesn't feel that way, like I just feel like a lot of inconveniences, like, you know what I mean? Like literally thought something was being delivered, turned out to be something else, and it's just like, you know what I mean? It's just irritants. That's a good word. Irritants and disruptions. You know what I mean? It's just do the best you can. That's all you can do. But remember that when they're asking you to rest, make sure you're resting, because it's just like if you're not listening, they will find a way to make you listen. Like universe doesn't punish, but it's just like they know what's coming. So they're just like, because sometimes we're walking in the unknown. If you do get visions and stuff like that, or happy feelings, it's like, you know what I mean? And you go through those steps where it's like really good, and it's like if we could bottle that feeling, we would forever. But that's why I'm saying it's like, I feel like holding out your hands to receive. I feel like it's like accepting, because it's hard for us to accept, because every time you accept with one hand, they have a dagger in the other. Like, you know that there's a double-edged sword here. So they're showing in my mind's eye, and they showed the card. It feels like Five of Pentacles, left out on alone, isolation. But that's in 404. That's when you do your best elevating. That's when you do your best growing, and going to the next level is when you are isolated like that, because there's a lot of noise going on. You can't hear, you can't see, so it sucks. But that's when you do your best going to the next level. This is where things get, the energy feels heavy. I definitely felt heavy on Wednesday, and I'm like, I definitely need to rest and rejuvenate. I woke up and I'm like, I could have went back to bed. Like, I did not want to wake up. My kid thought I was late for work, and he's like, you're too late for work. I was like, no, I'm on vacation for a couple days. 444. So it's just, heart's in the right place. But I just feel like sometimes, as much as you make steps forward, it just feels like more things are being added on to the pile. Like you get rid of one and 10 more pile behind you, you know, like you're carrying a backpack and it's like the sticks are laying horizontally and it's just like they add more. So going with the 444 and also with the change of this, the stained glass really caught my eye. My girlfriend actually went somewhere and I love stained glass and she has a lot of it in her house. And she was taking a lot of pictures of that. That really caught my eye. But I feel like also the swords catch my eye where it's just like, you know what I mean? This is a time to rest. This is a time to rejuvenate. This is a time for you to, you know, you feel like napping. I definitely feel guilty for sleeping in and everything. But I'm like, you know what? I need this. I need a respite. I need to recharge my battery because, you know, even though sometimes preoccupying our mind is great, it's just like there's a reason to stay still. Like they say, all things come to an end, so this too shall pass. That's what I was saying, like they're like minor disruptions. But for me, it's just like ongoing, and it's just like the lack of communication and notice, which really ticks me off. And it's just like, you know what I mean? You know, doing the best I can, but it's just like, it would have been great if it was today because it wouldn't just, you know, it would have been done, period. You know what I mean? But like they're saying, it's just, they're like, take it on the chin, nothing more I can do. Like you know, worst communication possible. Like, I guess if it was another way, I don't know. But, I don't know. This kind of situation is better just to keep your mouth shut. You know what I mean? It's just, some things aren't even worth your energy. If you're like myself and you're feeling dragged down, like, so NRC is one thing. I was just worried it was going to keep me up because I did have like a sleepless night. I only got like 2 hours and I'm like, I need to definitely sleep. But that's why I was worried about putting some NRC in where it's like, I know it definitely kicks in and rejuvenates me, but it's just like at the same time I want to make sure I'm getting sound sleep, which I am, you know, thankfully. But this is where it's just like, allow whomever loves you to be by your side and give you the strength to you know, maybe get through minor tasks or anything like that. It's just, or get through this cycle you're going through. I don't feel like it's so much, well, maybe it is a cycle. I feel like it's just, you know, kind of like as things flow, it's just like, or like they say, learning to dance in the storm. It's not so much a storm though. You know what I mean? It's just disruptions. It's just, ugh. It's just, I wish people would communicate better. You know what I mean? It's just, it would go a long way, but it is what it is. So they are showing like tree roots. So they're showing like new growth and those are expanding. So that's where I feel like it's like, you know, as they're showing, a lot of times, you know, we expect to see change going on the outside. I definitely feel that is coming. Cornucopia season, they're showing like apples like blooming. So I feel like with winds, like the apples are falling, and that's why I'm like gathering very Seven of Pentacles energy. So, you know what I mean? It's just like, you know, not yet harvest season. Like they're getting ready to pick, but I feel like this is where they're saying like cornucopia, instead of making you stress yourself having to climb the ladder and pick the apples, it's like the wind is helping you out where it's shaking the trees, you know, where you don't get harmed, and you're just able to pick them up and, you know, fill your baskets. Kind of like, you know, the Ace of Cups, you know, you're just able to fill your cup, you know, grounding energies. So today is like Thankful Thursday. So playing hymns, grounding your energy, grounding yourself, getting yourself in a good mindset, you know, doing things that you love, something that for yourself, something that brings in, calls in love. You know, like they're saying, like the sunflowers surround this beautiful child. Their crown is made out of sunflowers. So will success surround yourself. So will this whole situation. It's just disruptive. I just feel like, you know, a needed, you know, respite. That's what I'm saying. It's just, again, with change. So you may actually be like, you know, going through a change where it's like going through one cycle of life to another. So like, you know, if you're like myself and all the baddies that are, you know, in the 80s are going through the change, you know what I mean? Like the pre-menopause and stuff like that. So it's like, not only you internally going through a change, but externally you're going through a change. That's what I'm saying. I feel like, but also like they were showing with new rootlings coming out, it's just like nurturing that new growth. So very much as they were showing with, I can't remember the card, but they were showing a new sprout of, like not a seedling. I guess a leafling is what you would call it. Like on a tree, it's just like new growth. There's a lot of cards, so I'm trying to get through it as quickly as possible. King of Cups, this is where the universe is saying, allow us to fill your cup. Stop looking to external, stop looking around people. Like, usually when we go through these kinds of things where they're showing the Five of Pentacles, we're always looking to people around us to fill our cup, and a lot of the times it doesn't happen. So this is where universe is just like, it is what it is, and, just allow us to do it for you. You know what I mean? On a grander scheme of things. But I feel like that's what they're saying, like, kind of like collecting moon water and stuff like that. It's just allow us to fill your cup. I feel like, more open to the flow of things. You know what I mean? Or where they're trying to help you utilizing other people's hands, and it's like you're kind of weary because we've been down this road before and it hasn't worked out. During this, it's where they're saying finding ways to ground yourself through emotional situations that leads to the sun. So this is where they were showing, again, we were talking about change and transformation, growth, elevation. This is where strength elevates or matures to temperance. She gains her wings. So if you get the chakra, what is it called? Maybe it's called the chakra tarot cards, but it's the evolution of the Fool. So where you see this elevation where it's like, highlighting the crown chakra, we're talking about a lot about, third eye images, or like your sight coming in and images coming in. Springtime may be significant, or daffodils may be significant. I just feel like, again, like we're talking about going through physical change, where it's going through that menopause where, with myself, I showed you taking the soya supplements where it's, trying to elevate things, trying to get things on a good level. It's just like, like Spirit is saying, like, this is temporary, better than the other side of things where, our family is notorious, for, unfortunately, cancer. So it's like this short term, what we're going through is nothing compared to, unfortunately, medical intervention. Changing our perspective. So where we would react a certain way, I feel like people will do things for a reaction, and I feel like this is what they're saying. Like, again, it's crown chakra, and it's just like, where I was like, kind of feeling anxious, and they're telling me no, and giving me a message. I'm like, okay, you know what I mean? It's just listening to what they have to say and trusting, because sometimes the unknown, where they're showing like the Five of Pentacles, we're not getting many, answers. So maybe this is a good time for you to do your own personal reading if you feel, strong enough where, sometimes I feel like this, and I get personal readings come in, private readings. And it's just like, do I feel like, I'm strong enough to do it? Because I never want to deliver something that is subpar. Never. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter who it is or, the situation. If when you get readings from me, it's just like, you never want to sit there and have something go out there and it's not what I would feel satisfied with. You know what I mean? It's like, I wouldn't feel comfortable putting that out there. I always take pride in what I deliver to people that get private readings. So showing your ship about to come in, we do get a couple of knockings of that in other cards, but this is where balance is coming in. And again, I can't help with it feels like a thimble or like a rubber when you're counting or you're going through paperwork and you have the little rubber on your finger. And I feel like it's, so maybe like work. So maybe like bookkeeping or something. But this is where it's just like trying to find the balance when we feel off balance. So like myself, where it's just like, I definitely know I need to recuperate. I need to rejuvenate. And it's just, where Spirit is just like, maybe you should go take a nap or do this or do that. And it's just like, as much as I like to do a bunch of things, 14, it's just like, so a lot of fours going on here. So it could be like revolving around the home, foundation, things that affect the work. So they're showing the Four of Pentacles, holding everything close to our chest in the fear of losing it. And they're saying like, you don't have to, because I feel like that's what's going on here is there's knockings of isolation that's making us feel uneasy, or situations that make us feel uneasy. And that's where the Four of Pentacles is like, you have nothing to fear at all. So that's why I'm saying, like, just be mindful new moon energy. You know, the moon is starting to gain in the sky again. So we're with the sickle in the sky, the waxing crescent. So just be mindful of that, like, you know, like illusion, you know, where things are true and things that aren't. Watch how, you know, especially when we're tired and we, you know, definitely need, our brain needs to take a break. It's just like, be mindful of that. So this is where I'm saying, like, you know, they're like cat that got the cream, you know, kind of thing, where people kind of, you know, the narcissists that like to hear these kinds of things, and it's like, oh, I'm glad they're suffering. Oh, I'm good. I'm glad it's not me, kind of thing, energy. And it's like, you know what I mean? Or trying to exacerbate a situation, or try to make, instead of trying to talk you off a cliff, they're like making you pushing you off a cliff. You know what I mean? It's not so much the Fool card. It's just where people should be talking you back, where people should be like comforting you and making you feel secure. You know what I mean? It's just like, be mindful of that. And I feel like most of the time that's where Spirit does that for you. Queen of Cups, because who you are, you know, going back to the nurturing card, it's like you fill other people's cups. That's the thing. It's like everybody is around when there's something to be taken from your cup. But when, again, this is where I'm saying there's nothing in the cup. There's not even droplets left in the cup. You know what I mean? It's just, you know, like if you put a ring or anything in there that could clang around, that's what you hear. Like there's no water to, you know, absorb that, you know, that sound. So that's why I'm saying, allow the universe to fill your cup. You know what I mean? And whatever way it is, or fill your own cup in whatever way it is. Like I was showing the, or sharing that video where, you know, they're talking about Lionsgate portal, how, like, you know, like myself, where it's just like, you know, things that come out of the blue, you know, life expenses, you know what I mean? And it's just like, what can you do? You know what I mean? It's like, it sucks. You know what I mean? But it's just like, that's why I'm saying, like, just be mindful of that. That there could be like, kind of like, where quote unquote, like, you know, bad luck or anything like that. That's why I'm saying, be careful right now. We're getting a lot of beautiful cards of balance though. And that's what I love about this. It's like, even though you feel off balance when you go to the Two of Pentacles, things feel off balance, off kilter. It's like things are coming back in. You know what I mean? And so it's like, if you have things in the courts or anything like that, it's like everything's going to work out, because sometimes, you know what I mean? It's up in the air, or it's up to someone, it's someone else's decision, or you know what I mean? It's like, it's not, or things are tedious. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like, you have to jump through all these hoops and all this stuff. And it's like, oh my Lanta, like, really? You know what I mean? It's like, can we just put this freaking behind us already? But it's always like that, right? There's always got to be freaking a million steps. But Nine of Pentacles, this is a rebirth in life. And I feel like that's why they're saying, like, you know, they're showing new growth. It's like, you could have reacted in this way, but you reacted in that way. Like, even today, I was just like, oh, I don't feel like talking to anybody or anything like that. And I'm like, fuck it, you know, just ask. And they're just like, oh, no, you know, I thought it was a delivery. You know, what are you going to do? Nothing I can do about it. Can't kick myself for it. Like I said, lack of communication. I love this. When I saw this, I was just like, brilliant. You know what I mean? It's just like, again, if things have been chaotic or, you know, disruptive, or it feels like there's just always something, you know what I mean? It's just like, oh my, okay, finally this is done. So here comes something else. It's just like really? Like, it keeps adding to the list. So that's what I'm saying with the Ten of Pentacles. This is an absolute yes. If you asked a question, the most positive card you could get in the Minor Arcana. So, you know what I mean? Like, they're showing, like, changing your perspective and stuff like that. So, like, you know, with myself, mentally, physically feeling tired, it's like, go take a break. Go have a nap. Do things that make you happy. Because, you know what? It's just like, you know, it's like my next one isn't for another 2 months. So that's what I'm saying. It's just like finding things that ground us, finding things that make us happy, finding things that put a smile on our face. You know what I mean? It's just like, you got to do it for yourself. And that's what I'm saying. Allow universe to bring those things in. Like, when you start showing up for yourself in that way, where it's just like, give yourself permission to rest. You need to rest, go ahead and freaking rest. Like today, I feel guilty for it because, like, you know, I definitely wanted to nap more, but it's just like, you know, disruptions. Ugh, it's always like that, isn't it? But High Priestess, so this is where they're saying, like, you know, Boaz and Jehovah, bringing in balance. We are in this High Priestess energy. There's more information that's going to reveal itself, because, like, things are coming up and I don't like it. It's really, you know what I mean? It's like, really? You know what I mean? It's like you finally feel like you find people, like tribe, and it's just like, you know what I mean? Like, just something they said to me a while ago, and I'm just like, you know what I mean? In the distance, like pulling away, you could feel it. You know what I mean? I feel like this has been like cycles that have happened my whole life. You know what I mean? And it's just like, don't force situations. You know what I mean? If that's what they want to do, then let them do what they need to do. You don't need to you know what I mean? It's just, that's what I'm saying. More information will be brought to your feet, basically. Like, the moon's at her feet. It's like, it'll be brought to your feet. Highlighting her crown, just like temperance. So, when it's very judgment card, where they're calling to your attention. So if things are knocking, there's a reason for it. It may not make sense right now, and it's hurtful. Like they said, and no harm to none. Like they were saying with the Eye of Wisdom, that purges are happening, and, it feels like a loss. It feels like a passing. It feels like a death, because it's like, it's finito. Some people are for a season, a reason, a lesson, and a blessing, unfortunately. They are showing like celebrations. I love the pumpkins. So Bath and Body's coming out with Nightmare Before Christmas collection on Monday. I know everybody that is loved. Like, I even said that years ago, you guys should do a Nightmare Before Christmas. They should do a Wednesday. There's so many ideas. I know licensing and all that, but it's just like, you know what I mean? It's like people that love that kind of stuff, the nostalgia of it, not even that. It's just like, it puts a smile on your face. You know what I mean? Just like little simple things in life that bring you joy. And I feel like that's what it is. It's like celebrate life celebrations, or life's joys, or the positive things that happen. Like, you know what I mean? If you only concentrate on the negative, very Five of Cups energy. If you only concentrate on the things that have been going wrong and not the things that have been going right, you're never going to see the positive. Like the affirmation, the morning affirmation, where they were saying, I attract, I changed it to we. I always, whomever I deal with, it's like, I always want good for everybody. But that's what it's like, there's reasons why things come across your For You page, or, maybe you're watching a movie and something resonates, or a song, lyrics, whatever it is, because they're bringing that to your attention. That is a channel message. You know what I mean? And it's just like even washing your hands with the honey and cinnamon right now. So the 13th, which is today, if it's already passed, I apologize, but I did post it earlier. And then the 21st, right? The next Thursday is next week. So they're saying like this Thursday, next Thursday, which is the 21st. The following one is the 27th. Do not do it on the 27th, because that's going to seal everything. So this is saying, like, if you feel like things have just gone, like they're showing like a hole in your hand, you know what I mean? And things are just going through your hand. I feel like this is where they're saying we're sealing that up now. Where when you bring in things like, like myself, if I feel like I need to work more, I work more. Or it's like I get opportunities, I take advantage of those opportunities. You know what I mean? So it's like the rewards of those opportunities, making sure they stay. They just don't keep going. You know what I mean? I feel like this is why the Devil card is sideways. Is because this is your decision. If you're going to keep on going down and feeding into these energies, like, we talk about Shannon energy with the new moon and everything like that. If you're going to keep feeding into it, that is your choice, that you keep feeding into it, and it's going to lead you where you don't want to go. Like Four Seasons that they just redid with Tracy. Oh my God, I always forget her freaking name. She's from Mean Girls, but she was on SNL. She was a writer. But there was another one she did. But or Tina, not Tracy, Tina Fey, where her best friend's wife was just like, don't let the negative thoughts in, because once you let them in, they're hard to get rid of. You know what I mean? You have to be your own best friend. Thankfully she's not a gatekeeper, and she's like teaching her, like, don't do that stuff to yourself. It's not good. Where she's telling her, like, yeah, it may not be going perfect, but at least you're trying. You know what I mean? That's the thing. Not every day is going to be perfect, but even when things happen a certain way some days, it's just like, okay, but this also happened. So I could choose to concentrate on the things that didn't go my way, or choose on the things that were a blessing or a nice surprise. You know what I mean? So 8 of Wands, something beautiful coming out of the blue. We kept on getting this for a while. They were saying 8 weeks, 8 weeks. So like right around this time period. So I feel like for a lot of people, this is going to change. I feel like for a lot of people where things have just been going here, there, you know what I mean? These little bloops and blops, you know what I mean? They're showing learning to dance in puddles, you know what I mean? Learning to dance in the rain, you know, when things don't go quite our way. Like today, it's just, how the heck was I supposed to know? You know what I mean? I've been keeping my eyes open, keeping my ears open, trying to, you know what I mean, be on top of things. But, you know what I mean? That's not my job. You know what I mean? And I'm a very busy person. I can't keep on top of everything, especially things that are out of my hands. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's what they're saying. More things are coming your way. Just because right now there's some noise, drown out the noise. So like meditation, or like with us, Thankful Thursdays, hymns, you know what I mean? It's just like whatever resonates with you, whatever puts a smile on your face, whatever brings you peace. That's what they want you to concentrate on. That's where they want you to put your energy. So I hope you enjoyed this quick card pull. May the universe bless you good. Have a great and blessed weekend.